This is a Calvary Chapel wrestling retreat. It's an annual event that we bring the kids up to get kind of focused on their goals for the year and also just focused on things of the Lord and kind of the definitive principles of church boys wrestling. Today we'll be doing a workout that involves carrying a rock around for close to 3 hours. This rock symbolizes sin. It's after a devotion that we have in Hebrews chapter 12. Chapter 12 starts off and it says, "Since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us cast off the weight of sin that so easily ensnares us, looking unto Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith." As Christ is the example and what he did for us on the cross and how he took our sin and bore our sin and was crucified on the cross that we would be purged clean of sin. In the same way, these boys are going to carry this rock and it's going to symbolize like the weight of sin. You know, that sin can be any number of things, you know. Teenage boys are getting themselves into all kinds of stuff. I wish someone would have did this workout with me because I went off the rails in college. I was carrying all kinds of sin. I was carrying all kinds of weight and trying to live and trying to function and trying to just do anything with this sin and heaviness and regret that comes along with a poor lifestyle. I want this lesson to be really clear to these kids because they're all getting ready to go off to college and they're going to make mistakes and there's things that are going to happen or whatever, and I want them to recognize, man, I remember how miserable that rock workout is, and I don't want a life of a rock workout. I don't want that in my life for the rest of my life. I got to change. And there's a point in the workout where we ask them, because they all know the story of the workout and what it's about. And it's right before they drop the rock. I said, "What does this rock symbolize?" And I said, "Sin. Are you ready to let go of this sin? Are you ready to drop this rock and get out from underneath the weight of it?" I said, "Yeah." This is just an object lesson that maybe it's just planting a seed for the future, because there'll be a time when they'll maybe be hitting bottom and they'll remember, man, all I got to do is drop this rock and give it to God and ask God to, give me a fresh start. I want them to know that when they compromise themselves or when they disrespect themselves, it's going to incur damage and it's going to cost them peace. It's going to cost them confidence. It's going to cost them, assurance of themselves and all those things that just erode you from the inside out when you live like a compromised life. And I want them to understand like how weak they become, how tiring it is, and just the drudgery of living like that day in and day out. I want them to think back to this and go, man, I don't want to be under this. And in this workout, they'll understand. All I got to do is turn to Jesus. That's as easy as it was for me. It took me going to prison and doing a little stretch in prison from just having all this rage and anger and all this stuff. And I don't want any of these kids to go through that. That's my sole reason to coach, is to help them avoid this. Wrestling is great and all that. It's a game. It's just a game. We teach them how to be good at a game. But the true fact of why I'm here as a coach is I want them to avoid these mistakes that I made. I want them to avoid the heartbrokenness that I had. And I want them to know that they can be free in Jesus. They can be free when they look to Jesus, the author and the perfecter of their faith. And they can just give all their cares to him, all their concerns, all their woes, and he will carry that weight. He'll make them weightless, and they can just walk upright, chest out, proud, strong, and know that they're God's kids, and he loves them, and he's there to help them.